I was nothing but heat now, like heat coming through the radiator or incinerator or any hot place. Who killed me? That's all I wanted to know. Revenge. That's all I wanted to get. Yeah, I was mad about losing out on the money bag that I was about to earn, but I was more furious that I would not be there to see Santiago get out and come home. Now I want to put down whoever shot me before Papa got home and gave the order to eliminate that person and whoever was on that person's team. No, erase that. Papa would pull that trigger himself. That's the kind of man he is. Of course, I love, admire, and respect that deadly element of my father. However, it was hard and costly work to get to the point where he would possibly be released. I didn't want him finally freed only to return to the box for avenging my murder. So my mission is to murder first. They couldn't charge me with murder in the first because I'm already dead in the first place. I started laughing, like real shoulder-shaking laughter that makes the whole body shake. Somehow the volume of my own laughter was increasing like someone slipped a mic on me, or I was in the DJ booth fucking with the fader, controlling the sound. Soon, the volume doubled. So I stopped laughing, but the laughter didn't stop. It tripled. It was the first time I ever got pissed and aggravated at the sound of my own voice. The more vexed I got, the more the laughter increased. It grew so loud it mutated and started sounding like some old guy laughing. "Shut the fuck up," I screamed. When I couldn't outscream the laughter, I stopped caring. I'm good at that, 'cause I didn't care in the first place. Once I thoroughly ignored the laughter, it thoroughly disappeared. I can't say how long it took to stop, because I was realizing that I could no longer count time. That may sound like no big deal, but to be a locked up bitch, time is everything. And the countdown from capture to release is as important and necessary as a pulse or a heartbeat. Without being able to count down time, well, now that I think about it, that's like death. For example, is today the same day as the day I got shot dead? When I saw Santiago, even though he didn't see me, was I seeing him right after I had been murdered? Or was it days after, or weeks after, or months after? Eventually, my temperature decreased. Once it did, I was more than just a glob of heat. I could feel my limbs again. It was like I got my body back, and now the heat was just moving in my chest like my titties were on fire. After calming myself, I accomplished turning myself back to cold, my natural state. That's when I promised myself, I'm moving whoever murdered me to the top of my payback's a bitch list. It had taken me 15 minutes after my arrest to put together my payback list. But it took me 15 years to put together each scheme on exactly how I was going to do it. Smarter, I knew I had to take revenge without getting found out. If I made one mistake, I could end up back in prison, and that wasn't even remotely a possibility, no matter what I had to do to prevent it. In my payback plot, there was no murder. I'm not a murderer. I'm innocent. I served 15 years for nothing. True, I wanted to hustle and blow up big in the streets. But who the fuck gets arrested for their thoughts? I never actually sold one rock, powder, or pill. But now that someone crossed the line and deaded me, I would turn into what I never was before, even if that means monster. Who did it? I didn't even have no murder type beef like that with anybody anymore. Who did it? Who did it and why? Think, I told myself. Then it felt like something shot through my chest and grabbed me. I was on the move again after being stuck for who knows how long. When the whirling feeling stopped, a sort of free high that I was starting to appreciate, my hearing came back, but not my vision. Aw, shit. I could hear Biggie on the track. Who shot ya? I was like, yeah, is that supposed to be funny? But I was excited to hear music, loud, clear, and crisp, like it was coming through some even better than Bose Macintosh super expensive speakers, not some bullshit Department of Corrections radio. I was even more excited to hear the livest music of the 90s when I was a teenager at the absolute tip-top of my royalty. After I was locked down and the 90s slowly disappeared, and when we had the DOC radio turned up, I couldn't feel nothing from the music. It wasn't just because the radio was cheap. The new artists just didn't have that thing. They weren't the type of hip-hop heads or singers that got me rah-rah excited, hot, and kept me listening and loyal. The 90s had powerhouse artists who spit that rhyme and sang the songs that snatched a bitch's heart out of her chest, made her go temporarily insane, or caused her legs to open voluntarily. 90s rappers and hip-hop music ruled the airwaves, reflected our culture, and moved our streets. It was dominant, not only in Brooklyn, but in all hoods in America and around the world. All my peeps knew that even without ever traveling far from the block, 90s hip-hop shook the planet. And in the real lives of real niggas, what was said, rhymed, or sung on a hip-hop track even dictated which niggas lived and which niggas died. Word. Ever seen a dead bitch dance? Me neither, but I was doing it. Old Dirty Bastard was killing the track of his hit titled Brooklyn Zoo. I stayed grooving all alone until I realized that I could hear muffled, murmuring voices. It sounded like a group of people talking, but the music prevented anyone from hearing what they were saying exactly. I stopped dancing and waited for the track to end, but Old Dirty merged into Jay-Z's Jigga What, Jigga Who, and I was like, oh, hell yeah, it's a party. Then I got pumped and I was like, it's my party. My private after party. After coming home from the joint, it was scheduled to start at 11 p.m. after all the reality TV shit and promotions was finished for the day. It was exclusive for only my girls who'd been through the same shit as me, did time with me too, and of course, they was each allowed to bring their nigga. Wait, that after party was supposed to take place the same night of the day I got released. Then I got tight. Is this the same day I got murdered? Felt like forever. And are they having my after party on the same night even though I got killed? The music flowed on for a long time. I could only tell because I was counting the tracks that the DJ spun. 18 cuts, 66 minutes later, a non-90s joint came on. That nigga Young Jeezy, aight. But to me it signaled that my throwback after party was about to end. Then the music lowered and a girl's voice shouted, Y'all ain't gotta go home, but y'all gotta get the fuck out of my crib. I got 2 kids and they won't keep their asses in the bed until y'all leave. It was the voice of my girl Asia, which confirmed, yes, this was my after the reality show after party. The crowd laughed, and I could hear the door opening and closing and people's Timbs, heels, kicks, and flats walking out. Nigga, give me back my Bacardi before I embarrass your ass, Asia shouted. Obviously, one nigga tried to steal a bottle. Asia caught him. Come on, girl, you got mad shit in here. Can a nice nigga get more nice without you getting mad? I heard a tussle. Then the door slammed. I'm thinking how it wasn't really Asia's Bacardi. I put up the paper to fix up her place and buy her a sound system, a new couch, and for her to get weed, free-flowing, and the bar fully stocked. I had a budget and I could arrange for shit like that. I could have only had the one party at the club celebrating my debut on the first day of filming the reality show. Elijah covered the cost for that. But that was like for the film crew and other professionals connected with the show. That's why I needed the after party. Ain't nothing like a house party, at least in my memory. I wanted to capture that and just chill with my girls and their niggas, all men and women who've been high and low and locked. But because of my show was about to be high again. A house party where we could and would do whatever off camera. Fuck that bitch. She thought I forgot? I suddenly heard Simone's voice, an angry whisper. A little light started to bleed through the darkness that had just surrounded me. My vision now was dim, like there was a vision control button. The type of buttons we had in our Long Island mansion after Santiago had suddenly moved us out of Brooklyn right after my 16th birthday. In every room, we were able to adjust the intensity of the lights. But here, where I was standing in Asia's apartment, I was stuck on very dim vision, but it was better than the blackout I had just had. I never forgot Winter liked to play dumb, so I went along with it and played dumb too. Fuck, we was locked up in the same joint. I had to look at her regardless, so I used her. Simone was close up in Natalie's face. Natalie is short, so Simone was looking down on her, like dominant. Yeah, well, if you gon' use a bitch, use her all the way. Winter got us the TV show. She put us on. You killed her. Now all of us lost the bag, Natalie said. Simone shot me? Simone shot me. Simone shot me? Was running through my head. Word. We should beat your ass for fucking up everybody's paper, my girl Reese said, cutting her eyes while unbuttoning her coat that she had just been buttoning. Reese, if any of y'all could have beat my ass, you would have tried already. But y'all know what time it is, Simone threatened. Reese lunged forward fast and punched Simone in the face. Simone bitch-slapped Reese in return, which sparked Tashi to jump up wild, and all three of them started thumping. Don't fuck up my house, Asia screamed. Then my girl Zakia started flicking the light switch on and off and on, as though that could influence or stop the fight. She was messing up my already dim view. But I did see Natalie creep up on Simone. She tried to crack Simone over the head with a bottle of Ciroc. Simone leaned, dodged the direct blow, and the bottle impacted on her shoulder, but it didn't break. Simone snatched it up from Natalie's grip. Zakia stopped flicking the lights. Y'all some stupid bitches, Asia screamed. Why? Simone asked, laughing in a greasy way. 'Cause Winter bought you a couch and fixed up your little dump? Simone said as she put herself back together from the brawl and was dusting off her shoulders as though to say and show them that she wasn't even hurt, fazed, or impacted from their little rumble. She then opened up the Ciroc and started gulping it, a fourth of it spilling out on her face and her trying to catch it and lick it up with her tongue. Winter bought the couch and the bottle you drinking from, and your ass is drunk. I fixed up the rest of my house myself with my paper, Asia said. But she was lying. She don't have no real paper yet. She was just about to come up when I got released and would put her on. Y'all was so busy kissing Winter's ass, Simone spit. Y'all was so happy she put y'all on and was about to get you paid a little paper. Simone burped, then farted. So was you, Natalie said. Y'all was so stupid y'all forgot to ask how much Winter was getting paid for the show, Simone grimaced. I asked her, Natalie said swiftly. And, Simone quick replied. As I looked around the room, I could see that Simone's question caught Reese and Tashi's attention and changed the expressions on their faces from fury to suspicion. Winter said she couldn't discuss how much money she was getting because she had to sign a confidentiality agreement with the television production company and had to promise them not to discuss the deal details. Natalie answered like a street lawyer. Slick bitch, Simone said. True, that is kind of slick, my girl Zakia said. She had been standing quietly in the same corner where the light switch was located, watching everything go down, smoking a blunt. Zakia was like that from being locked up with the rest of us. Hers was the shortest bid, but her nerves got wrecked from just putting in a little time and a little work on the inside. She used to stand around silent, same like she is now, when she was locked. She'd pay anybody selling any amount for even a fifth of a cigarette, smoked all the time, and said next to nothing. But we held her down anyway because she was our homegirl. It's Winter's sister's husband who got Winter the deal in the first place, so why she had to sign a no-talk agreement with her own brother-in-law, Reese stated. Because that's how Winter gets down, Simone rushed and answered, cutting Natalie off. She does the least and gets the most. Y'all gotta remember, Winter got me arrested the first time for stealing a dress she wanted. A dress she planned to put on her back and pretend that she paid full price for it herself. Then I got arrested for slicing her face. More than y'all, I did real time. She deserved to get cut, but I should have really murdered her in the street, right then and there. She killed my daughter. She did not, Natalie scolded. Yo big pregnant ass chased Winter and fell down the steps and lost the baby. Back then I told you to stay home and let us handle Winter. You should have listened. That's what happened. I was there, Reese confirmed. That, Asia screamed, was 15 years ago. She said each word with a space in between and mad emphasis. Y'all old bitches better upgrade and update. What we gonna do now? You the same age as us. Zakia's nervous one-liner bombed Asia. Then she just stared off, not even looking at the rest of the girls in the room. Y'all better wise up. Winter be lying all the time. Remember how she used to gas us on lockup about how that nigga Midnight was gonna pick her up on her release date pushing a $500,000 whip? Simone said. My girls all started laughing. Somehow, what Simone had mentioned wiped out the tension between them. But I was slowly heating, headed towards furious. I hate when anybody talks shit about something they don't really know and had no way of finding out what really happened in certain situations. I hate the way people talk shit either after somebody got locked up and ain't around to say it how it really was. I hate how people would go hard against someone who, if they was standing right in their face, they wouldn't dare to even look at too long or ever say shit to. Same way I hate how people talk shit about anybody after they was dead and gone and can't clap back. All that is sucker moves. Only suckers move and do that way. The show must go on, Simone said in her low, manly voice. Life after death, like B.I.G. said, and dead entertainers sell more merchandise than living entertainers ever did, like B.I.G. did. Bet y'all didn't know that. Winter wanted to be the star, so she got murdered on camera, a dramatic debut. Simone waved her arms in the air, still holding the Ciroc. You think any of these showbiz niggas, whether they Winter's brother-in-law or not, gonna delete that footage of that murder? Hell no. They gonna let it roll, air it, sweep the ratings, collect and count the cheddar, and continue to show the show, Simone bragged. And how long before they figure out it was you who pulled the trigger? Natalie said. And she was pissy. They ain't gonna find out and y'all ain't gonna tell them. And that's why I don't give a fuck about talking about it. Y'all need me. And y'all need the show. And everybody know in hip-hop, the real making moves murderers, the shooters, get the shine. Back to black. I thought Zakia was messing with the lights again, but she wasn't. I had turned back into being nothing but a blob of heat, numbed limbs and all. Couldn't see no more, or feel my face, and I was back to being blind, deaf, and dumb. 4.